Hi guys, welcome back to another edition of MHI's Roundtable discussion. I'm here joined today as usual by my brother Carlos, our own Dr. Rudy Everwine, and today we have the pleasure of being joined by Brian Hoyer, who's a functional nutritional consultant, a certified geo-biologist, and one of the world's top leading EMF and toxic light specialists. Brian's work has bridged the EMF world with the medical wellness industry. Brian, thank you so much for coming out here and joining us today. We sincerely appreciate it, man.
Oh man, it's been a blast with you guys the last few days, getting to know you and being welcomed into your homes with all my crazy equipment. And you know, we did Dr. Rudy's house yesterday, and now we're here today, and we found a variety of issues, which I think is so eye-opening when you see it in your own house. And
when you hear it and see it.
You hear it, you see it, you make the invisible visible, the inaudible audible, and it just becomes real. And I think so many people are living in this invisible world of stressors, and they just are unaware. And so that's what I hope to do for you and your patients and everyone out there who's watching this video is, this is real. The science is real, the studies are solid, and the measurements that we take are scientific measurements with real electrical equipment that's measuring these frequencies. Yeah. And so it's becomes even more apparent when you experience it in your own home, which you guys have. And I think like your excitement when I first met you guys to talk about this was like this, and now it's like, and then it was like this when it was just about time, and now you guys are like through the roof.
So we're here ready to legitimize it.
Yeah. And if you don't mind me interjecting, totally true what he's saying. And for those of you watching at home, I sort of want to caveat the conversation because this is I think I speak for all of us. We felt like the Ghostbusters in our own home with all these devices. And again, trying to trap these invisible stressors and foreign invaders that are actually really, really, really affecting our health. And so this is a very complicated subject that we're really trying to kind of simplify for you guys. So please stay with us. That's why it's a very interactive sort of roundtable where we're going to bring some of the footage of our home and even Rudy's home so that you could actually see it and hear it for yourself so that you know, and you know, we'll discuss some of the science now. But I just want you to guys bear with us because it is a complicated subject that we're trying to unpack for you.
Definitely. So let's start with the beginning because I know the viewers heard all this and they're like, what are they talking about? Yeah. So tell me in a few sentences, what are EMFs and what do they do to us?
So EMFs, the acronym stands for electromagnetic fields, and they are invisible types of energy that can affect us. So there's a visible spectrum too, like light is a type of EMF. So that's a visible type of EMF, but then there's invisible ones as well that we don't see, but we can detect with equipment. And a lot of us can feel it. Like when you have an electrical pulse, your muscles can contract.
Yes.
So we know that they biologically affect us in some way. And there's natural types that we've had on this planet for thousands of years. And there's unnatural, man-made pulsations of different types of electromagnetic fields that we use for technology around us.
Right. And if I can say something, it's, as you said, there was always natural EMFs happening. It's until they invented the light bulb and electricity came that now man-made EMFs started coming. And I think those were deemed to be safe until studies started seeing that, they do affect our biological system. And I think this is what we're going to try to unpack to really realize all those wireless networks, the Bluetooths, all the technology that we think, it's benign. This is what you're going to help us understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Unpack. And if I understand it correctly, just, without the medical technical jargon, I mean, our bodies and the earth work with electromagnetism, which is invisible. And so there's electromagnetism that is really, really good for us and energizes us. And then there's toxic electromagnetism that can be not only very damaging to our cells, but also to our nerves and our actual tissues.
So guys, before we deep dive into EMF ghost busting, okay, how about you start a little bit with your personal story and the journey that led you into EMF?
Yeah, how did you get into this?
Right.
So basically it kind of started with that question as a nutritional therapist. But even before that, it was becoming a father that really had an impact on me. I remember the moment I came home from the hospital with my daughter, who's 13 years old now. This was back in 2009 when she was born. I laid her on the bed and I was just this little tiny thing, and I was just thinking, man, this little alien creature, like, what the heck have I done? I have to take care of this child, this organism for the rest of my life, and like, what do I want? What's best for it? Like this just fatherly love comes over you, and you really want to take care of this baby, and you want the best for it. And then I started thinking, well, what am I going to feed her? Are vaccinations okay? Are all of these medicines okay that I'm giving her? And started going through the motions with that, and then doing all the research and realizing that, no, I don't want to feed her this. I don't want to feed her that. I don't want these toxic chemicals on her body. I don't want any of these things. And so I started learning about nutrition, and then I started to become a subject matter expert with my friends, and then decided to go to school for it. And that's what started my journey on the health and wellness. And then beyond that, after I'd gotten certified as a functional nutritional therapist, I'd taken continuing education with a Dr. Dietrich Klinghardt.
Yeah.
And he's a holistic medical doctor from Germany. And he had some lectures about EMF that were just mind-blowing. And so I listened to him talk about how, like, his protocol for his patients is to get rid of all these different EMF stressors, and he has a protocol for nighttime and daytime. And he won't even take on patients that don't follow through with these protocols that he has for this, because he says they won't get better. And so he, that really struck me. And then I started implementing a lot of these solutions in my own nutrition practice, and seeing things like people's leaky gut protocols weren't working. But then after I started implementing solutions in their sleeping areas especially, they started working, and they had sticking power. Wow. And some people didn't even need supplementation anymore to heal to balance their gut microbiome, to heal their leaky gut, and to get over all their adrenal stress.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think a great story is the one of your daughter, where you actually mapped out her bed when you were already like really into this, and you saw that the complaints that she had about her tummy hurting were coming from an EMF that was like basically like a cross on her bed, right?
Yeah, there was a cross on her bed. We'd measured the fields actually coming up, some different stressors coming up from the earth, and it was right there on her stomach. We didn't know why she was experiencing these stomach pains, and then I mapped it out, and my wife's like, that's where my daughter where our daughter sleeps, and we need to, so we moved her, and it immediately stopped. We didn't tell her why she was moving locations or anything.
How old is she?
She's 13 now, but she was like six at the time. Right. Yeah, 6 or 7 Incredible. At the time. And that was like a real moment for us, like an aha moment, like, okay, even this natural type of EMF is having an impact. And our ancestors, they were aware of different types of natural radiations that were, impacting them as well. Like the Chinese, they have feng shui in traditional Chinese medicine. And that has everything to do with the earth energies. And they talk about earth acupuncture points, where just like you can do acupuncture energy points on the body, there's also energy points on the earth where you can put a metal stake in the ground and reroute energy a different way in the earth. And those are just natural frequencies that are impacting us. So imagine how all these man-made alien frequencies that we've created now that are so different from the natural things that our bodies have evolved or been created to be in. It's just mind-blowing, the craziness of how impactful something that's pulsed versus not pulsed can be, which we're going to talk about. And we have lots of video and sound demonstrations of pulsed versus natural. Yeah. And that's the template, is we want to mimic nature and recreate the ancestral environment.
Optimizing your health is only a scan away. Select the QR code that fits your profile best, and we look forward to hearing from you at the Medical Health Institute.